What's going on, guys? So for today's focus, I want to talk about the second annual NBA in-season tournament, specifically talking about teams left in contention still and how I think their season is going to move on going forward in the tournament, as well as how they've played so far up until now. I want to start with a team that has already clinched a quarterfinal spot, and that's where the Rockets come into play. The Rockets are ranked number 2 in defensive efficiency this season with a clear emphasis on individual defensive matchups. Their young core of Jalen Green, Alfred Sengun continues to develop impressively on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. The influence of Ime Udoka has been pivotal in shaping the team's culture. That, along with veterans Dillon Brooks and Fred VanVleet, have set the tone with their defense-first mentality, making Houston a force to be reckoned with. Staying in the West, I want to talk about the other Western Conference team that has already clinched their quarterfinal spot. And even though the Warriors have clinched their spot, all their games have been decided within 5 points of each other. Their matchup against the Mavericks was particularly notable as it was the first time Steph Curry and Klay Thompson played against one another. Despite their success, the Warriors have struggled to maintain leads both in and out of tournament play. And while Stephen Curry has been playing his best, he has been the most important factor in terms of team success. Curry's offensive gravity allows himself to create more opportunities for his teammates to score instead of just himself. And now, moving over to the Eastern Conference, I want to talk about the only Eastern Conference team to have secured a tournament spot so far, the Hawks. The Hawks the last couple of years have been known to struggle on the defensive side of the ball, but they are showing steady improvement. They went from 27th in the league in defensive efficiency to 22nd, and a large part of that can be attributed to Dyson Daniels, who has emerged as a potential Defensive Player of the Year candidate. But despite all these positives, the Hawks continue to struggle with turning the ball over, and they are doing so at above a league rate. But make no mistake, the Hawks are legit contenders in the in-season tournament and have picked up 2 wins over the 2 top teams in the East, the Cavaliers and the Celtics. Their win over the Celtics was extremely close as it was decided by just 1 point. But moving on to teams who are just only in contention, I want to start with the Bucks. The Bucks, who outside of the tournament began with a rough 2-8 start, have greatly improved since then. They've ranked top 10 in defensive efficiency since the 10th game of the season. Giannis is back to playing at an MVP level, averaging a career-high 32.4 points per game. They are unbeaten in the tournament at 3-0, with their most notable win coming against the Miami Heat by just 3 points. The Bucks are proving they're back on track and that they have a true shot at winning the tournament if Dame and Giannis can get it going. Now, on to the Blazers, who are also 3-0 in tournament play, with wins over strong teams like the Kings, Rockets, and Timberwolves. Anthony Simons and Shaedon Sharpe are the young duo of the team and have been strong standout performers, and Portland has dominated their opponents, winning each game by significant margins. They're making a strong case as tournament contenders. Next, going down to Inglewood, I want to talk about the LA Clippers. Even without Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers have shown resilience. James Harden has carried the offensive load and has looked like his former MVP self. Their second unit bench has also been a major contributor to their recent success. Norman Powell in particular has looked like a most improved player candidate. They narrowly lost to the Wolves by 1, but remain competitive and dangerous. Their matchup against the Blazers on Tuesday will be important to see their standings in the tournament. Next, talking about the Spurs, I want to specifically mention Victor Wembanyama and the leap he has taken in his sophomore year. He's looked like everything we were expecting him to be, which is a superstar. Chris Paul's veteran leadership has been shown on the team, especially during critical moments in tournament play. Stephon Castle has also emerged as a valuable piece for the team, and the Spurs are currently sitting at 2-1 in the tournament with a close loss to the Lakers by just 5 points. They'll face the Suns on Tuesday in what will be a pivotal matchup to determine their standings for the rest of the tournament. And speaking of the Suns are also 2-1 in tournament play, with their only loss coming against the Thunder. They've played 2 of their 3 games without Kevin Durant, who is their primary scorer, leaving Devin Booker and Bradley Beal to cover the offensive load. But on the defensive side of the ball, rookie Ryan Dunn has shown flashes of defensive potential, while Devin Booker has transitioned back to shooting guard, making him an even more dynamic offensive threat. And to wrap up all of our teams in the West, I quickly want to mention the Thunder. The Thunder's only loss in the tournament came against the Spurs by only 6 points. And despite missing their star big man, Chet Holmgren, their new addition, Isaiah Hartenstein, has stepped up big time. They knocked out the Lakers of the tournament on Friday, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander playing at an MVP level. The entire team has excelled in their roles, making them a strong team both in and out of the tournament. And to kick off our Eastern Conference team, I want to quickly start with the Orlando Magic. The Magic are 3-0 in tournament play and have been led by Franz Wagner, who has stepped up big time in Paolo Banchero's absence. Wagner is averaging around 30 points per game in the tournament, and the team has won all of their games by double digits. The Magic are emerging as one of the most dangerous teams in the tournament, positioning themselves as serious contenders. Next team I want to talk about in the Eastern Conference are the New York Knicks. The Knicks are also an impressive 3-0 in tournament play, and head coach Tom Thibodeau has leaned heavily on his starting five. Each player in his starting five has played over 35 minutes per game, and 2 of their games have been decided by 2 points or less. Offensively, the team has been balanced, with both stars such as Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, as well as role players such as OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges stepping up on any given night. And lastly, the Boston Celtics. The Celtics pulled off a big win over the Cavs, who have the best record in the NBA, and their three-point shooting remains unstoppable. This, along with the return of Kristaps Porzingis, has only strengthened their already strong lineup. Fresh off a championship run, their starting five continues to impress. But 2 of their 3 games in the tournament have been won by margins of 3 or less. But everyone knows, as long as the Celtics stay healthy, they are the biggest threats both in and out of the tournament.